Hey guys, look what I got. That's right, I got the ZOHD Dart. This is a swept forward wing design. It is great for line of sight, it's great for FPV. It also comes with a built-in stabilizer. It has a safe launch mode mechanism, basically similar to the E-flite and the Horizon Hobby planes. If you want to see that in action before I get my maiden flight of this plane up, check out Bill's ZOHD Orbit maiden flight on this channel. That'll give you a really clear indication of how well that works. But coming up next, we are going to unbox this. Alright guys, here's what it looks like inside the box. As you can see, it's individually wrapped, put together in there quite nicely. Now if you look down below, you can see that there's a handle on this thing. And I'm hoping that based on how this is designed, that I'm going to be able to take it apart and then put it back in the box for easy transport. We'll follow up with that a little bit later in the video. Alright, so here's a look at everything that comes inside the box, all laid out. Here's an exploded view of what this thing looks like. And then if you switch over here, you get to see how to set up the receiver with the gyro. Alright guys, this thing went together so fast. I think I had it together easily in under 60 seconds. That is crazy fast. And I definitely think I'll be able to take it apart and put it back in the box for easy transport. That is a good thing, especially and for storage here because I'm running out of space for stuff, so that is incredible. Coming up next, we're going to take a closer look at the plane and inside the fuselage. Alright, let's take a closer look at this. Let's look in the fuselage first. Nice strong magnet holding that on. And if you're wondering where the prop is, it's in here. I was actually a little bit concerned when I opened the box and put everything together. I was wondering where in the heck is the prop? And when I opened the fuselage, it was right there. Now you'll also notice inside the fuselage that there's a nice big battery bay. So you'll be able to adjust the CG. You've got room for your FPV gear. Got a nice big cavity up front for HD camera potentially. FPV camera, whatever you want to do. You can pretty much maximize the space how you want. That is awesome. And we've got some CG indicators down here on either side of the wing, so you'll be able to tune your center of gravity for how you set this up. Make sure everything is balanced and works just exactly how you want to, because you do not want to have your center of gravity off for something like this. They just don't fly very well without your center of gravity balanced well, so keep that in mind guys, especially if you're new to the RC hobby. I also want to talk about the canopy cover. This thing has some really nice foam ridges here. At first I actually thought they were plastic, it feels so strong. So that is a good thing. You want to have a nice strong canopy if you can, just in case you accidentally step on it. In case you want to make modifications, have an antenna come up through it, poke through something like that. It's always good to have strength in your RC aircraft when you can, as long as it doesn't compromise weight and all that, which this clearly doesn't. So I also want to show you how these things go on. They literally just magnet on. And these just pop off there. In fact, that goes to the aileron servo, or elevon servo, and then it just plugs in. So slide the spar in, boom, you're together. It is that friggin' simple, guys. Alright, coming up next, I'm going to install the receiver, and then we're going to get this bound to the radio and give it a little motor test. Here's our control surfaces demonstration. I've got this set up at 85% in low rates. Expo is at 30%. Alright, coming up next, we're going to do a quick little motor test. Alright guys, we're going to do a quick little motor demonstration here. This is a ZOHD 206 2400 kV brushless motor, and let's let it rip. Alright, that's half throttle, guys. And you'll notice that activated the safe mode gyro launch mode gyro, probably a better way of saying it. It's not the trademark safe technology. However, it's essentially the same principle in action. So there's that. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the radio setup. So here's a look inside the battery bay. I want to show you one thing here real quick right up front. I wasn't sure what this piece was at first, but now I do. So this piece, which comes in here with the prop, it is to accommodate smaller sized cameras here. So you stick it in the back there, so it'll hold it in place in that slot. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's a lot of cool little features built into this product that the more I explore it, the more I realize that they are available. For example, we've got the skid pad down here at the bottom, and then we've got some protection. Let's see if I can get it close to the camera. We've got a plastic piece, nice solid plastic piece right there for protection for the airframe. That is a good thing for sure. Something I like. Now, this is not all permanent. I need to secure this, and I may shift things around as I get more FPV equipment. I'm waiting for some stuff to come in the mail for my wing as well as this. So this is a temporary setup for the line of sight maiden that we're going to do as soon as the weather cooperates and I can get a camera person for that. So with all that being said, I want to show you how I've got my AR400 set up. You can use a 4-channel radio with this, 4-channel receiver rather, and this is what that setup looks like. Let's get it nice and light. And these plugs are single plugs, so they need to go to the top, which is the positive, and the aileron is the one with the 3 wires, and I've got the green one into the rudder slot. And I had to do some shifting around within the radio to make that work, and I'm going to talk about that coming up next. Alright, let's talk about our setup here. We've got this set up with 2 different flight modes. We've got them set up on our A switch.
Flight mode 2.
This is more or less the AS3X mode, that's flight mode 2.
Flight mode 1.
Now flight mode 1 is the one that we want to use when we launch it. Makes things nice, smooth, and easy. Of course, as soon as we get it airborne, flight mode 2 is probably what we want to do unless you're flying in a nice wide open space, because that will limit the bank angle, all that stuff. Alright, so let's go in here inside the radio, and I'll show you kind of the basics of how I got this set up. There's a lot of different ways to do it in these radios, but this is how I chose to do it. So we want to go to Channel Assign. And what I did is I added rudder for auxiliary 1. So we've got that. Alright. Go to next. And then for auxiliary 1, we assign the different channel, and that's channel A. That switch right there. Okay, nice and simple. Could assign it to any of the different switches. B is an option if you want to have one that doesn't have any gyro. With this design, I recommend we have at least the AS3X version going on, or at least the imitation AS3X if we want to get technical. So then the next thing we do after that is we go to the F mode setup. We assign the switch to the different flight modes, and since that has 2 different positions on it, we've got 2 right there. Flight mode 1. Flight mode 2, cool. And then the last thing that I did is pretty straightforward. You want to go back to the main menu, and then we want to go to Servo Setup. And this is how you change the reversing out of different stuff. So you push down that button, and then you switch through to the different things. Hit that again to hold it in place so you can scroll down a little deeper. Now I needed to reverse my aileron and reverse my elevator because those control surfaces were going the wrong direction, and that was not conducive to what I needed to do. I also needed to reverse the auxiliary position because
Flight mode 2.
the second position was flight mode 1 and the first position was flight mode number 2, so I adjusted that so we had that where we needed to go. And that's really it, guys. Coming up next is our review notes wrap up. Alright guys, this is the review notes wrap up. We're going to cover some pros and cons. As far as the pros go, this has got to be the easiest plug and play build I've ever done. It just magnets together. Boom. That is great. As far as other pros go, this comes with the gyro flight controller, and you've got your easy launch mode, and you've got your basically AS3X mode, and that is awesome on something at this price point. Check the description. Check the link in the description to check out the current price point of this thing. It's ridiculously inexpensive for what you get, especially compared to like the Horizon Hobby stuff. There's plenty of room for FPV gear. I love that. You can do your little 3-in-1. You can do a full-blown FPV system. Just make sure your center of gravity is nice. And it uses our common 3S 1300 batteries. That's awesome. It's got the little skid plates at the bottom. That's terrific. As far as the cons go, I'm not aware of any right now, and I will continue to update the pros and cons list as I fly it and use it and see how it performs, because how it performs is definitely very important. But I've got a buddy who has one of these and he absolutely loves it. That's why I got mine. With all that being said, like, comment, and subscribe, and GB Linden out.